Let me get the mute on. Okay, so welcome everybody to the call. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Eric Johnson. I'm actually the creator and CEO of Teamzy. And tonight what I'm gonna do is take you through, well, I'm gonna show you Teamzy. I'll show you how to set it up. I'm gonna show you how to get super organized, like get all your lists organized in one place. You're gonna feel amazingly organized. I'm gonna teach you how to do a power hour that is like unbelievably effective. I'll teach you how to connect with people, how to turn those into conversations, how to use those conversations to create invites to the business opportunity, how to follow up like a pro on those invites, and do it all through Teamzy. Okay, but before I jump into all of that, first I'm going to train you guys a little bit on the philosophy that is the underpinning of everything, and that is relationship marketing. Because Teamzy is more than an app, it's more than a tracker, it's actually a system that's built upon a specific approach to doing business, which we call relationship marketing. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about that. And then as that makes sense to you guys, and hopefully it will resonate with you, you'll be the kind of people that are attracted to this approach. And then I'll show you the software and it will be like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Are you guys ready? Okay. So let's jump over here. You guys should be seeing my presentation right now, which is how to leverage relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. You guys see that? Me little nods? Okay, good. Great. So my story, before I started Teamzy, my grown-up life, I've been a coach, a business coach, teaching people how to build their business. Specifically, I have been focused mostly in real estate, working with real estate professionals, but I've coached just about every business owner you can imagine. And all of it based on the system I'm going to teach a little bit of to you guys tonight. So my story was when I got into network marketing, some of you know my story, I actually started as a Beachbody coach. I went to look for the tools that I was used to using and help other people build their business. And what I found was in this industry, even though this industry is actually larger than the real estate industry, there really weren't any effective tools. There certainly weren't any tools that matched the relationship philosophy. So that's why we built it. That's how Teamzy was born. Okay, so let's jump into relationship marketing. What is relationship marketing? Relationship marketing is a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business, right? That's like the dictionary definition of lead generation system. I wanted you guys to understand this. It's not just a tracker. This is a system that will help you generate a consistent flow of leads in your business. In fact, before we even get into the presentation any deeper, I want you all to have a mindset shift right now, because your business is not marketing amazing skincare products or sharing an amazing business opportunity. That's not your business. Your business is lead generation. You guys are in the lead generation business. And when you look at your day's work, oh man, I was so busy today. You can be busy, but if you're not doing any work that leads to lead generation, you did not work on your business today. Make sense? Okay, so let's get into this. Relationship marketing, it's a system we follow. It allows us to serve and bring value first. It allows us to serve and bring value first, which is kind of flipped from how our industry works, right? Which is about selling and recruiting first. We're about serving and bringing value first. When we invest systematically in relationships, people are more likely to want to do business with us and to recommend our business to others. Okay? Again, the complete opposite of the go for no philosophy, which I'll show you guys in a little bit too. We invest in relationships first. And then by doing all this, we're able to create predictable and reliable results for our business. Guys, I've been doing this so long that we can do it. I can do it with a calculator. I can talk to you about how much business you'll have in 12 months based on what you do every day. It's amazing. In fact, some of you guys have already noticed that Teamzy will give you kind of a formula of what you should be doing every day based on your goals. And we always know what to do next because it's a system that we follow. There's never any of this like, okay, what do I do? Oh my gosh. And this is what I come up against with all the time with people is I just don't know what to do next. Okay. So here's an important principle I want you to get down. Whenever I throw up important principle, it's like I want you to know it's an important principle, so I actually spell it out for you. But developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. So we're in the lead generation business so that we can meet people and deepen relationships with them. It's fun, right? That's what we do all day long. And then over time, we'll turn those relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. So if you just kind of picture like this huge assembly line, you know, like the conveyor belt of relationships. You're meeting people, you already know people, everyone's on this conveyor belt. And as they come by you, you are investing in them. And they move along this conveyor belt and they get warmer and warmer and warmer relationships as you invest in them. Over time, they become advocates. Advocates are people that are out there bringing business to you, actively talking about your business, excited about what you're doing. And all of you know what it feels like to be an advocate because you're already advocates for other companies and other products. You can't help yourself. Every single human being is wired to be an advocate. Once we unlock someone's enthusiasm, they can't keep it in. Okay, so here's another important principle. Relationship marketing depends on trust. I know I'm jamming through these slides. I have so much to give you guys in a short amount of time. I hope it's okay. Make sure you're quick on your notes, but we are recording. Relationship marketing depends on trust. What does this mean? This means for jerks, it won't work. This system doesn't work for jerks. It doesn't, which I love because there are people in our industry that are not nice, that are not honest, that are not, you know what I mean? They're jerks. But relationship marketing depends on trust. You have to be the real deal. You have to walk your talk. You have to actually care about people for this to work, which is why I love it. Because trust makes the work fun. Trust makes the work fun. You don't have to convince people when they trust you. Even if they just trust you a little bit, and I'm going to teach you guys how to build a little bit of trust, you can get right to helping them. You don't have to convince them or sell them. Trust takes that icky salesperson feeling away. How many of you guys just never want to be the icky salesperson? A little bit of trust, and you never have that. And then you get to go for yes. You get to go for yes. And I don't know if you guys have ever done the go for no thing as a team. Have you guys ever done that? Do you know what I'm talking about? I can only see a couple of your faces at a time when I'm presenting, but.
We haven't done it as a team. I know several of us have read the book, but I don't know if everyone knows what it is.
Okay, so the whole idea, and I won't go deep into this, it's not a big deal. It's just a philosophical difference, but the go for no philosophy is, you know, you take your warm market list and you just go through it and you just kind of invite everybody to the business. And the idea is that you want to uncover all the people that are interested right away, and you're like going for no's. Like people say no, it's not like oh, I got rejected. It's like, okay, great. I'm going to keep track of that because if I get 100 no's, that means I'm probably going to get 3 yeses type thing. And it is a way for people to refocus the negative emotion of getting rejected to keep going. And I appreciate that. But I'll just be honest with you guys. Like, I'm a total wimp when it comes to rejection. I can't hack it. I don't know how many of you guys are like that. Like, I can't stand it, especially from friends and family. And I think that's what kills so many people in this business. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but 50% of everyone in this business will quit in the first year. Here's the thing, with building relationships, we're not going through our list and leaving bodies behind. We're going through our list and lifting everybody up. We're spending a second with each person on our list to try to make their day. We're in the make someone's day mindset. As we're doing that, we're building those relationships. We don't leave anybody behind. It is impossible to go through your warm market because your warm market is just constantly getting warmer when you use this approach. And then what you do is you go for yes. You get to go for yes. People may not be ready yet, but everybody's moving along that conveyor belt, that kind of loving conveyor belt towards the yes. And I'll explain to you guys how we do it as we go and get into Teamzy. All right, so how do you actually build trust? There are things you can do to actually build trust, okay? And I'm just gonna give you guys the 4 essential ingredients to building trust right now. And I'll go through them really quick, and then I'll break each one out for you, okay? So hang with me. The first one is chemistry. Chemistry. Then we've got character, then competence, then consistency. For those of you guys on the phone, it's chemistry, character, competence, consistency. All right. And they didn't all used to start with C. It took me a long time to get them to figure out how to make them all sound cool like that. All right. It's important, right? So the first one's chemistry. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? And guys, this is, you probably are pretty good at this. As a human being, you're probably good at this. Really all you need to do is ask questions and then close your mouth and listen to find where you have common ground. The most important thing to realize is that you have common ground with everybody. With everybody. You just got to uncover it a little bit and find that chemistry. All right, the second one is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. You know what's so funny? This isn't part of my normal talk on this, but it just kind of hit me, and it just kind of hit me. I've heard people say this a lot, and it's so true. And it actually relates well to both of these points, which is the whole concept of being interested instead of trying to be interesting. Have you guys heard that before? And it's just really about how you demonstrate your care to other people. One thing I want you guys to notice about this character definition that's before you is this. It's not something you have. You don't have character. You don't get to walk around with character. Character is something you do. It's something you do. It's an action. It's a verb. You have to show your character every day. If you're like me and you occasionally get, like twisted up because somebody has insulted your integrity, right? You have to remember, have you demonstrated your care for that person? Why do they know you have character? Why are you insulted if you haven't shown them? Okay, it's an important verb. It's like so many things we think we can have, and they're actually things that we do. Things like love, or things you can't have that, you have to do that. It's the same thing with success. You don't get to have success, you have to do success. Character is like that. One more thing that's like that, guys, is competence. That's the next thing, competence. Competence is also, it's when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. You're good at what you do and you're a business person. What do I mean by this? I need to know, like, if you're going to give me a consultation, do you have any clue what you're talking about? And if I'm going to join your team, do I feel like you're competent to mentor me in this business? These are important, guys. I need all these. I need to feel like we have common ground. I need to know you care about me and that I can relate to you and your story. And I need to know that I can trust you to help me in this business. Chemistry, character, competence. This is how I get to trust you. Each one of these brings a little bit of trust along with it. Does that make sense? Okay, before I jump over to the fourth one, I just want to give you this principle, and you can see where I broke out some of this content from. When somebody's looking to do business with you, and if you think about yourself, you feel the same way about other businesses, they only care about three things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Okay, and one thing I want to say about these three things, and then I have one more thing to say about competence, and I'll move on to the next one, is this. If you come up against objections, and you should probably be coming up against objections because you're talking to humans, all objections stem from these three questions. Any objection comes from these. It just means the trust isn't there yet. That's what it means. And you got to work on that relationship over time. Even if you're excellent at overcoming objections, you need to understand that if somebody's raising objections and you're excellent at overcoming them, you still need to work on that relationship over time to build the trust. If you want to keep that person on your team, if you want to keep them as a customer. All right, one thing I wanted to say about competence that I didn't, let me just circle back real quick. If you're new and you don't feel like you're maybe as competent as you could be a little while from now, please do not fake it till you make it. Have you heard that before? Don't do that. That doesn't work with this system. This system's based on trust. You have to be honest. Hey, I'm new, but I have to tell you about my team, right? Lean on the competence of your team. Lean on the competence of the leaders in your team. Explain to them the community they're joining if you're new. Make sense? Come along with me. We'll learn together from the best. All right. Man, I kind of like doing this sick. I feel like I'm a little bit edgy. You guys having fun? All right. Next, consistency. Consistency. This is great. Because I hate consistency. How many of you really wish we didn't have to be consistent? I mean, it's so annoying. Gosh, but it's the key to everything, isn't it? It's the key to everything. Anything that we want in life, we have to be consistent at doing something well, some small things well every day to get anything we want. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to know from the perspective of building trust is this principle. People respect consistency and they desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and they desire it for themselves. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. They really love it when they see you being consistent. They think that is so amazing because we know how hard it is, and they wish they could be that way. It's kind of like people will tell you that you inspire them. A lot of times it's this at work. It's that they respect your consistency and wish they could do that. Why is this so important for building trust? Because this is the most important thing in the world for building trust, is doing something consistently. Following through on what you say you're going to do and doing it consistently is the number one thing. Think about it. A lot of you guys are parents, right? How important is this for building trust to your kids? If you don't follow through on a threat to punish, what happens, right? They don't believe you and they do what they want to do. People are the same way. So you've got to be consistent with people. They respect it. But the cool thing about this is not only does being consistent build trust, but this is the part I love about it. It attracts people to you. It becomes a marketing tool. Your consistency, especially in today's world with social media, your consistency, your consistent life, your consistent business actions, your consistent message actually attracts people to you like moths to a flame. So it's kind of a really cool thing. So let me ask you guys a question though, before we get too deep. Oh wait, before I do this, I want to explain to you where I got this. I lifted this principle from an amazing book. I'm going to recommend it to you guys called Influence, the Psychology of Success. I'm sorry, the Psychology of Persuasion from Bob Cialdini. And here it is on the screen in case you can't see my tiny little picture up there. Really good book. You guys should put it on your personal development list, okay? It talks about the 6 different laws of social persuasion. And every single page is applicable to our business. Such a great thing. Great book. All right. So let me ask you guys a question. Are you consistent? This is where we're going to give you the checkup from the neck up. Are you consistent? And remember, we're talking about relationships right now. All right. Well, let's talk about your business quick. Are you a product of the product? Are you actually using these products? Are you actually creating your own transformation story? Are you sharing your results and your story along the way? It's important. If you want people to do that, then you need to do it. Are you, oh, wait, this is a slide from a different one. All right, so are you guys doing those things? Are you posting on social media every day? Are you using your products? Are you doing all the things that you want your team to do? Are you actually doing those things consistently? But the most important question I have for you is this, which is, are you consistent in your relationships? Are you consistent in your relationships? And I got that, sorry, I grabbed the wrong presentation, but are you consistent about reaching out with people as you are about posting on social media every day? I mean, are you actually talking to people, connecting with people, or are you posting it up on Instagram and Facebook and wherever, Snapchat, hoping people are catching it? Because here's an important principle. People won't believe you until they see you. They don't believe you really want them to join your team if you're not in contact with them. Some people will go, yeah, they'll put their hand up. A few people will. But most people who are watching you from afar are wondering if you really mean them. They won't know until you reach out to them. And I'll show you guys how easy that is to do with Teamzy. So just keep in mind, guys, that relationship building is a contact sport. Relationship building is a contact sport, which means you need to be in regular contact with people if you want to have a relationship with them. And if you remember back at my very first slide, I told you relationships, building relationships is your primary duty as a business owner. So if you're going to do your duty as a business owner, you need to be in regular contact with people. In fact, I'll tell you right now, let's say you have 3,000 contacts, you need to be in regular contact with all 3,000 of them. But how do you do that with scarce time? I'll show you guys in a second. It's really easy. So here's an important principle. I'm just about ready to jump into Teamzy. Bear with me, but I got to nail a couple of these big principles for you guys first. One is investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Hold on, I just need to look at you guys for a second because I haven't seen everybody. Okay, hey guys. I just want to give you a quick example on this before I move on. This whole idea of investing time and connecting with people. How many of you guys have ever received a card, like for your birthday or anniversary or something, I don't know, whatever. You got a card from somebody, and in the card, they put like this amazing, beautifully handwritten, sentimental note for you. You guys ever get a card like that? Like the kind that moves you emotionally? Of course. So how many of you are married? All right. Hopefully you got at least one from your spouse like that. Okay, so let me ask you, when you get a card like that, what do you do with it? Do you read it? I mean, obviously, when you read it, it makes an impact on you emotionally, right? And then what happens? You toss it in the trash can right away? Or do you guys, it's hard to throw those away, isn't it? Do you guys have like a box or a drawer somewhere where you keep all of those cards and it's like overflowing with amazing cards? Yeah. Yeah, we all do. Now, okay, here's the other question for you. How many of you have ever received like a postcard from the dentist or your insurance salesman that says happy birthday? Like, and it's pre-printed. right? Or like you get a postcard from the local real estate agent telling you how beautiful your home is and how they'd love to list it. And it's like the little handwritten signature at the bottom. You get one of those? Do you guys get those, right? Do those go into the special box? Or you have no problem chucking those in the trash, right? What's the difference? The reason why the handwritten note makes such an impression on you is because it represents the investment of somebody's most precious thing, their time. And for those couple of minutes it took to write that card, it was undivided attention. There was no phone, Facebook, nothing going on, right? And if the kids were hanging on them, they were getting yelled at, go away, I'm trying to do something. That was your time, and it was invested in you, and it moved your relationship. And it's like, you want to keep that card to remember that time. It's almost like a medal that represents that time invested just in you. And it means so much. Guys, when we invest time in people, now I'm not telling you need to be writing handwritten notes, everybody, though I do think handwritten notes should be part of your business plan. For sure. Every time someone places an order, you should send them a note. Every time someone joins your team, you should send them a note. They'll save it forever, by the way. I tell you so many stories. Just a little side note. I'll tell you guys my story a little bit, but during the recession, 2008, 2009, I was laid off from my job. And I went and worked for a different company. And I had written a note to the CEO's assistant who I worked to get me the interview. I'd written her a thank you note. And I worked there for a year. And when I left at the end of that year, I was in her office going through my settlement papers, right? My payoff basically for letting me have the business plan I wrote for him. And I noticed the card was still on her desk a year later, like displayed. Is that crazy? I didn't think anything of it. It was just thank you note. Okay, so anyways, side note. Yes, you should do thank you notes. But what I'm going to show you guys is even just messaging somebody directly, just sending them a heartfelt message, just what I call a make someone's day mindset message means something. It's meaningful because no one ever does it. People don't do it. And especially when they're messaging, a lot of times it's like messaging is so like just short and devoid of anything, right? All right, I'm going off. Let me go back into my presentation. We'll get to Teamzy. I think I have one more slide for you guys, so don't worry. So what you need is you need a system. You need a system. You need a way to stay in contact with all your relationships, right? You need to know when to contact them, what to say, and to make sure that nobody ever falls through the cracks. Because you know what happens is if you're trying to do this written on a list, you're going through your list, trying to remember who to connect with, trying to figure it out. And then what happens is you get every once in a while, you'll get somebody who says, oh, I'm not really ready to do it right now. And you're like, okay, I'll check in with you later. And then what happens? You find out that they joined someone else's team. And that ever happened to anyone? Absolutely. They fell through the cracks. You planted the seed, you watered the seed, you put sunshine on it, and you just weren't there when they were ready for harvest. You weren't there. So somebody else plucked them up. That's why you got to make sure that you're constantly in contact with people. And I'll show you how that works as we go into this. Okay, wait, action steps are at the end. We can't do those yet. We got to show you Teamzy first. All right, you guys ready for this? Some of you guys are like, finally, weren't we supposed to see the software thing today? Okay, here's my Teamzy dashboard. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through this really quick. I'm going to kind of take you guys through the process of how you work your list on this. First, we'll get it set up. So when you first come in here, well, let me just say this. If you're not already using it, go to teamzy.com and get a 30-day free trial. Okay, get a 30-day free trial. It's free. You don't need a credit card. You don't need anything like that. Just go get it for free and use it, okay? And then when you're in your free trial, it's going to bring you into a setup wizard to set it up. It's super easy to do it. I'm going to take you through it really quick, and then we'll go in. So you can relaunch it here from the settings. Dramatic pause while I drink my tea. I'm having an internet moment. I have a 17-year-old inside. Sometimes they tend to use the entire internet. I don't know how, but I'm outside in my shoffice. This is my shed quarters. I don't know if you guys know that, but I saw on Pinterest that people were turning garden sheds into these awesome office spaces, so I jumped on board. What can I do? All right, so here's our setup wizard. What we're going to do in this is we're going to set an income goal, right? And then Teamzy is going to tell us what to do to achieve it. Then we're going to create a powerful why so that we don't lean on our natural inclination, which is to quit. And then we're going to get our contacts in and create a master list that's super organized, okay? So let's go ahead and start. I'm just going to click to the next page. And on this page, we're going to set an income goal. This is the income level you'd like to be at 12 months from now. And just put a number in here. Just put a number in here. but I recommend that you at least get to 6 figures on this goal. Now, those of you guys who are already making multiple 6 figures, I want you to look at it like this. How much business will you personally create through your sales and sponsoring new consultants in the next 12 months? Okay? So in addition to your normal income. So that's what we're going to do for our goal. And just so you guys know, this is not an income promise. It's just, you're giving us a ballpark and we're going to tell you about how much work you need to do to get in that ballpark. Does that make sense? All right. Next. So Teamzy is telling me that I need to connect with 4,348 people over the next 12 months. Does that sound fair? Yeah. I grew up in a town in New Hampshire that actually had less than that many people. So, but I didn't know. I knew like 800 of them. So this is a challenge. But you know what? Here's the thing. When you have to eat an elephant, how do you do it? Do you guys know the answer to this one? One bite at a time. You guys are good. I saw a lot of lips moving to that one. That's good. Good for you. So you guys are doing some personal development. One bite at a time. When I go to this next page, it's going to break it down to me in bite-sized chunks. So I've got 3 groups. I've got prospects, customers, and consultants, right? Those are the 3 people that the entire world is made up of. People that are already on my team, people that are already my customer, and everybody else, right? Or I should say that aren't consultants or customers with somebody else in the business, okay? All right, so then we break it down yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily. So that huge number, 4,348, I think it was, is now I'm gonna reach out to 9 prospects a day, 6 customers, 4 consultants on my team. I'm also gonna have a goal to invite 3 people and add 3 new people to my list every day. So those are my actions. You can change these, by the way. You can edit these to whatever you want. You can make that 1 if you have a small team, right? You can make this one bigger. Right? Whatever you want to do. Don't put a weird symbol in there though. That might mess it up. All right. So once you set this up the way you want it, when you hit continue, it will configure your dashboard to your goals, which is pretty cool. And I'll explain this as we go. We're going to talk about connecting with people first. The connection is to make their day and create a conversation. Then we have a conversation. From those conversations, we generate interest. When people are interested, we invite them to take a closer look at the business. That's what these invites are. And then, of course, ads, you guys know what that is. That's just meeting new people online or in person, getting them on your list. Okay, ready? Next step is finding your why. Finding your why. Have you guys done, as a team, have you guys worked on this a little bit? Have you guys ever talked about your why? I know a lot of times people talk about it. And here's the thing I want to tell you guys about this. I'm just going to kind of go off on a mini tangent because I'm really passionate about this. A lot of times we talk about, hey, you need to know your why. You need to have your big feeling. And you're like, yeah, I do. I don't know how to do that. I mean, right? How do I do that? And they're like, oh, go do your personal development time. Every time you got to work on you. You got to work on you. And you do. But where do you start? Here's the thing I want you guys to know. This is so important. And I mentioned it before. 1 out of every 2 people in this business will quit within 12 months. And how many of you guys have been in the business a couple of years at least? Is that about right? Right? And if you're really good, your numbers might be a little better than that. But people leave. The main reason they leave is this. I'm just going to tell you like it is. People are quitters. We all are. The only reason we succeed and persist is if the reason to do it is big enough. And you've heard people say this. You're like, yeah, Eric, we've heard this crap at our convention and people say this stuff. Yeah, we know. It's the truth. That's why everybody's saying it. Right? Here's the thing I want you guys to know. It's not that hard. We've been to the seminars. We've read the books. We built it into Teamzy, so you don't have to go to a seminar to find your why. We're going to help you do it. I'm going to show you right now. We're going to do it right now. But do this and know that your why is a process that changes over time. Your why will change over time. You need to revisit this from time to time. But here's the bottom line. There are days when you don't feel like working 30 minutes on your business. Anyone ever have that day yet? You need to be able to look at your why statement, which I'm going to show you how to craft right now, and be like, there is no way I'm going to skip my 30 minutes today because this is too important. Right? Would you forget to feed your children one day because you didn't feel like it? No. Why? Because keeping your children alive is a really important thing to you, right? I mean, so this is what we're going to do. All right, sorry. Maybe that was too extreme an example. Wait, did I feed my kids? Yeah, I fed them. All right, next. So there's a little video here where I talk to you about how your willpower sucks. That's the theme of that video. I had fun with it. We don't have willpower, only why power. So here's the thing. We're going to go through this. I'm going to go through these questions. These are like journaling exercises. It's just to get you thinking, okay? And I'll tell my story to you as an example. Obviously, your story will be different, right? But the first question, why'd you become a consultant? My first the reason why I got into the business was I'd used the products and had a physical transformation, and people were asking me about it. Well, hey, you look great. What'd you do? Right? Some of you guys have had that too. And I would tell them. And then my wife said, you should just be a distributor because you could be getting paid when you do that all day long. And I said, that's a good idea. So I did it. Real deep, right? Deep, passionate Eric Johnson. Was not deep at all. What did you hope to accomplish? Well, I thought if I could make $500 extra money each month, that would be awesome. Right? I remember asking my sponsor, do you think I could do that? And he said, yeah, you could do $500 a month. I said, great. Why is that important to you? You see how I'm just working down these questions, and you're just going to go through these questions for yourself. Okay. Why is it important to you? Well, I mentioned this earlier, but you know, I was in the business of supporting real estate professionals in their business. And in at the end of 2008, the real estate market completely tanked. I'm sure it affected all of you guys in some way too. And overnight, 85% of the income that I relied on for my business, other people's income that hired me, was gone. It was brutal. I was laid off from my job eventually. And, you know, it was just a very character building time for our family, trying to keep things going, trying to keep the house, which we did, trying to keep, you know, everything together. We did not lose. We held steady. But for 7 years, you guys, we did not put a dime in our savings account. We didn't save a dime for 7 years. And so, gosh, 7 years, that's kind of biblical, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna have to explore that later. That's a separate thing. But saving $500 a month, that would have been important to me because it would have been savings, which we hadn't been able to do. So then the next question, what would achieving this mean for you and your family? My first thought when I read this question at that time was, oh my gosh, if I saved enough money, we could buy a new house. That would be awesome. Right? So my wife and I, you know, we just had, I gotta do this. We just had our 4th child. There she is, just sneaking it in there. A month ago, 5 weeks ago now, she's 5 weeks old. We have a 17-year-old down to 5 weeks old. So anyways, buying a new house seemed like a good idea, unless I just continue to build sheds in the backyard, right? So to me, I was like, yeah, that'd be great. If we could save some money, maybe we could buy a new house. And I live in San Diego, so it's kind of expensive for houses. All right, so then I get to the next question. And really, it's gotten a little bit deeper. Like I've gone from, well, I can make a couple extra bucks to, wow, maybe we could buy a new house. I've already moved through this opportunity becoming something bigger. Now, when I get to this last question, why is that meaningful? Why is buying a new house meaningful? How does this make you feel? I was like, man, what is this hippy dippy stuff I'm doing right now? How many of you guys feel that way sometimes when you do personal development? Have you guys ever read Jen Sincero's book? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, this is just a little side note. Where is it? I'll recommend another book for you guys. This is such a good book. Some of you guys have read it. Have you guys read this one? Jen Sincero's book? Oh my gosh, such a great book. All right. If you didn't get that, you can message me later and I'll send you the title. So I was like, what are we talking about? How does this make me feel? But as I started thinking about it, guys, really seriously, this is what happened. I realized buying a house wasn't meaningful. That wasn't meaningful at all, but it was symbolic. It was symbolic. It was symbolic of everything that was not right with my family. See, I was working so many hours, already telling you guys that we weren't able to get ahead, right? I had reached the top of my career, so to speak, where I wasn't going to make any more income. And I just had titles and cool office and respect, which was great, but we weren't getting anywhere as a family. And I was constantly working. I saw my kids 25 minutes in the morning, maybe 30 minutes at night. They'd already eaten dinner when I got home and I'd tuck them into bed. This was my life with my family. I was not healthy because I was always traveling and eating out and eating terrible food in restaurants, right? And it was just stressful, worrying all the time. What would happen if I got laid off again? Oh my gosh, type thing. So I realized that it wasn't about the house. It was, oh my gosh, this opportunity is a way for me to create the life we always wanted. Like this opportunity is a new way out. Does that make sense? And so as I was going through this process, literally over about 20 minutes of my life, I went from a couple $100 a month to, wow, this could be it. This could be life-changing for us. You guys see where I'm going? This is why I want you to do this. And then I wrote my why statement. The very last box is where you write your own why statement. You can use mine as kind of an example and build on it. Mine was to create a life where we never have to worry about money again. I enjoy quality time with my family, and I'm present for my children on a daily basis. I'm healthy and full of energy. Okay, so guys, I wrote this down, and this is my why statement. And then when you, whatever you put in this last box is all that matters. The rest is just for your thinking cap, right? And then when you click continue, that will save to your dashboard, so you'll see it every day. Okay, now let me just tell you one thing really quick about this. When I wrote this, it was about 15 months ago maybe that I wrote that why statement. Wait, what month is it now? No, it was June, so I guess it was about 1.5 years ago. I wrote this why statement. I came out and I started building the shed. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm building a shoffice." She's like, "Why?" "So I have a place to work." "Well, you have an office." I go, "No, when I leave my job." Okay, this started happening for me. It started as soon as I got the vision in my head, it started happening. Within 3 months, I left my full-time job. I just want you guys to know, in my story, that why statement actually describes what Tuesday looks like for me now. Okay, I need to go through this process with you and create a little stronger why for my next couple years. But you need to do this, because here's what happens. You wake up in the morning and you're like, I know Teamzy makes it easy, but I still don't feel like doing it. You look at that why statement and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. It's going to take me 20 minutes. What am I complaining about? I need to keep building my business. Now, here's what I want you guys to know too. Some of you are motivated by avoiding negativity, avoiding fear, avoiding pain. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to happen. Some of you are like that. It's okay. If you're like that, I want you to do, I call it the dark why. Okay? This is what I want you to write. What happens to me, to my family, to my relationships, to my finances if I fail at this? What does failure look like? Some of you need to write that out. My health goes down, my relationships go down. I have to keep working for this guy and make him rich that I can't stand, whatever. I actually really respected my boss, but I didn't like that I was making him super rich. And not me. Right? Okay. You need to know that dark why so that you can be motivated. However, whatever needs to get you done. Now, I'm going to show you guys right now how you can really do this in 30 minutes a day. I'm serious. Some of you have, like, you know, you're just so busy and scattered, you might not even have 30 minutes. You can break that into 15-minute chunks and get this done. You ready? You ready for it? All right, well, let's get to the next thing. Sorry, I'm excited. I don't know why. Must be because I have a cold. Crazy. Okay, so I'm going to hit continue. The next step is you're going to get your contacts in. Now, you're going to get your downline list from Pulse, and you're going to get your auto ship customer list from Pulse, and you're going to import them in. Now, here's the thing with this, guys. Pulse, I don't know, it's not working right or something. Somebody told me that it's never really worked right. So you're going to get, when you do your exports, you're going to get a spreadsheet that's just like has everything. So you're going to have to clean it up. The video explains it. You're just going to have to open that spreadsheet up and delete some of it out before you import it, so that you can just bring in like just your personally sponsored consultants, for example. It's easy to do. You can use any spreadsheet program to do that. Excel if you have it. If you don't have one, like if you have a Mac like I use, you can have numbers. But you can also use Google Sheets. It's totally free. So if you don't have any of that software, you can do that to clean it up. And if all of that is super intimidating to you, you can just send those exports directly to Teamzy's help desk and they'll do it for you too. All right, so then you're gonna get your Facebook list. This is easy. This is super easy. You can get your entire Facebook friends list from Facebook. And then our guys have programmed Teamzy so it knows how to like extract the data from the mess that they send. And you'll get your whole Facebook list in Teamzy so that it's organized and you can work it in a systemized way, which is so awesome. And then anywhere else that you have data, if you have another CRM or anything like that, you can get it. You can import that too. All right, so I'm going to skip this. That part's super easy. Those of you who have done it know it's super easy and fast. All right. There's one more step for setup that I'll show you. And when you do an import, it automatically brings you there. I'm going to go to my team page. See, this is my little left nav here. There's my Y. See, it's right there. So I see it every day. I'm going to go to my team page. That's where my entire list lives. Okay, my entire list is here on the team page. And then I can also break it into, I can just look at my prospects, just look at my customers, right? And just look at my consultants. So I'm going to go to my all list. And when you first do an import, like I was saying, it automatically brings you here and it toggles this rank mode. What we're going to do in this mode is we're going to go through our list and we're going to rank people. 5 stars, awesome. 1 star, not so awesome, right? You guys know how to do this. You do it all the time. The reason why this is important, and everyone will be a 3-star to start, so you don't really have to rank everybody. Most people will stay a 3, but you're going to go through your list and you're going to move people up that you have a better relationship with. This is the concept. Relationship marketing is driven by this concept. You should spend the most time with the best people. You should spend the most time with the best people, because when you prioritize your relationships, now we can actually prioritize our time. Does that make sense? So once you do this one time, and it doesn't have to be perfect because you can adjust ranks as you go. Also, Teamzy will be able to create your daily Power Hour Connect list. You never have to do it again. You never have to plan again. You never have to think about who to connect with. You just go down your list every day, and it's going to take the people that you've prioritized higher and bring them up more often. Make sense? This is how you take a huge list, 3,000 or 4,000 people, and you connect consistently over a year with them effortlessly, instead of trying to do it yourself and always finding yourself talking to the same people. Does that make sense? Okay. So once you've done that, and this is what these, let me tell you what the ranks mean really quick. 5-star is somebody that's most likely to become a customer or a consultant, or they're an existing customer or consultant that's a rock star. Okay. A 4-star is somebody that's likely to become a customer or consultant with a little bit of nurturing, right? Or maybe they're already on your team and they're consistent. You're going to talk to them. So the 5 stars you'll talk to every 30 days. The 4-star people, now they're going to come up to talk to them every 60 days. 3 stars, like I said, most people are 3 stars, and everyone starts there because you just don't know. They could go either way. A 3-star person could go either way. You'll find out as you start connecting with them. They're going to come up on your list every 90 days. And then 2 stars, getting colder every 120 days. Okay? So it's not really exactly months, because, you know, months are never the same amount of days, but it's 30, 60, 90, 120. And then 1-star people, they're not going to come on your dashboard. They're on your list. Like, they're just your cold storage people. They're on your list, but you're not really actively marketing to them, connecting with them. All right, makes sense? So once we've done that, now Teamzy creates the list. And every day when I come in to do my Power Hour, by the way, there is a mobile website that you can do all this on your phone once you've set it up. You never even have to turn your computer on again once you've set it up once, okay? So you do it all on your phone, which is awesome. But here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you this really quick. If you need to look somebody up, you look them up here. You need to add somebody new to your list tomorrow, you add them in real quick, right? Now, this is our goals for our Power Hour today. We need to reach out to 12 prospects, connect with 6 customers, 1 consultant, invite 3 people, add 3 people. Remember we set those goals together? Okay, and then all of the action happens here in your Who's Up Next. This box right here is the magic land. And guys, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but there is no system out there in the world that does it like this. It makes this list so easy to work. It's all in one place. It's one list. It's not like, you know, 500 color-coded folders. All right, so first we're going to talk to prospects. It's going to give me, see, each one of these is a different list. See how it just toggles them? First we're going to talk to prospects. The first one on my list is Nicole. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to reach out to Nicole. Nicole's somebody I knew back in my real estate days. I haven't talked to her in a while. You guys have people like that on your list, right? I'm not really sure what to say. So before I go to message her, I'm going to click on scripts to get a clue on what I might say. What kind of message is this? It's going to be a Facebook message. Great. So I'm going to use this connect one. Hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. I'm going to copy that script. Bam. Copied. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Facebook and look up Nicole. She's easy because no one I know spells the name like her. There she is. Facebook just recently added this thing where I have to click twice to get to somebody. Isn't that weird? You guys notice that? Anyway, what can you do? Facebook changes every week. So I'm going to message Nicole. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste that message that I'd already copied from Teamzy. I got to change the name. Obviously, her name's not Jane. I don't know why that's question mark. I'm just going to make that a period. Hi, Nicole. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. This is a connect. My goal is to make her day. She's going to get this message and go, oh, that was so nice. In fact, I haven't even messaged her since May of 2016. It's way overdue, right? I don't think she was in my Teamzy list. That's why. All right, so I'm going to copy that message, right? I'm copying it so I don't have to type again because I'm kind of lazy. I want it to be efficient. I'm going to toggle back to Teamzy, And I'm just going to log that I sent that message to her, just so I have it in the records. Okay. And that was a Facebook message. And now I'm going to log it. Now, when I log it, watch what happens to the circle and watch what happens to Nicole on my list. She's off my list. I've got 1 point on the board, and the next person is on my list. It's Deanne. You with me? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Deanne. Now, what's cool is I'm just going to use that same message basically 12 times in a row. Change the name. Because I'm just trying to make someone's day, get a smile. I want them to see my name come up and go, oh, that was cool. And what I'm hoping is some conversations will start. I'm doing great. How are you? Now, why do I love Facebook Messenger so much more than, let's say, texting people? This is just personal preference, by the way. Because when Nicole, who hasn't heard from me in a year and a half, gets that message, what's the first thing she's going to do? She's going to look at my Facebook page, right? And she's going to be like, oh my gosh, you guys had another baby? Don't you know you're high-risk middle-aged people? No, she won't say that. She's going to be excited. We're going to have something to talk about. We're going to have a conversation about it, right? So cool. This is why I love it. Okay, so just so you guys know, you can send emails and all that from here. But if you look at communication, the best communication is face-to-face with somebody, taking them to coffee face-to-face. The second best communication is voice-to-voice, right? Or video chat on your computer. Then after that, Facebook, Instagram, social media things are going to be way better. And then email is like way at the bottom. You with me? All right. So I'm going to go through my list the same way. Bam, bam, bam. I'm going to connect with everybody on this list. I'm not even thinking about their responses, which will start coming in. I'm going to get through my list 12. And I can do that in about 15 minutes, doing what I just showed you. There's other scripts too. If you find that, oh, I messaged somebody that already, you can go get the number 2, the number 3 one. Okay. So there's one in there that's like, hey, I just saw you come across my Facebook feed. Thought I'd check in. How are you? Right? It's real basic, simple stuff. And then I'm going to go to my customer list next. And I'm going to start connecting with my customers. Okay? I'm going to start connecting with my customers. There's scripts in there for customers too, which is awesome. This is so important, guys, because so many people have customers. And here's the thing I'll tell you too. If somebody was a customer and they're not currently buying product, they're still a customer. Right? Aren't you that way? Like, if you drive a Lexus, I know some of you do, don't you? Are you still, you haven't bought a Lexus in 5 years, so you're not a Lexus customer anymore? No, they're still your customers. They still, okay, so anyways, I'm trying not to go off on all these tangents, but I'm already in love with you guys. I got to do it all. Here's what you need to know. Your customers are your gold mine. There is no better source for a new lead than a current customer. I said it slow because I wanted you guys to write it down. There's no better source for a new lead than a current customer. Why is that? There's no social media class you can take. There's some good ones. There's no prospecting scripts that are better than a current customer. Somebody who's using the product now and getting a great result is a walking, talking billboard for your business. And they're already talking to everybody about it. So why aren't all their friends on your team? Are you in touch with them consistently? Here's the other thing. When you're in touch with people consistently, they will stay on the product longer. They will order more as well, which is great for volume, right? Team volume. Train your people to do the same thing. The volume grows all the way along the line. But here's the other thing too, and I promise I'll do a full training for Rodana Field soon on how to do this. But there's specific techniques you can do to actually get introduced to the people they're already talking to about the products. And you should be able to consistently duplicate current customers into new ones. And when somebody gives you 3 or 4 or 5 friends who are interested in learning more, you've just created a new consultant that now has 5 customers already. Does that make sense? So that's how you build your team. That's how you take a customer who likes the products and not interested in the business and be like, I know you really weren't interested in the business, but those 5 friends you introduced me to are all interested. So we should really just build them under you, right? And then all of a sudden someone's like, wow, this is awesome. How many of you guys started out as the reluctant customer before you got into, right? Those are usually the best builders. All right, so that's a little tangent, but this is why Teamzy makes you connect with customers on a consistent basis. That is your gold mine. And you're just gonna reach out and be like, hey, how's it going today? Just checking in on you, how are you? You guys, I was at the pickup, since my wife just had the baby, I'm doing all the drop-offs and pickups for the rest of our kids, how many of you guys do drop-offs and pickups for your kids? Oh my gosh, God bless you guys. I mean, dads just have no clue sometimes. We just don't. I'm like, babe, I'm in my car all day long. She goes, I know, it's a lot. I go, how do you do anything else? She goes, I don't really do anything else. Anyways, I'm talking, one of the moms came up to me while I'm sitting there with my car parked, and she was like, so did Lisa have the baby? And I go, yeah. And she goes, wow, you look really good. Like, you don't look exhausted. I go, no, I am exhausted. I'm using this Rodan & Fields eye cream. She goes, I've heard about that. I go, yeah, of course you've heard about it. Everyone's heard about it. My question is, like, why isn't somebody's already talking to her about the products? So why isn't she got them yet? That's what I'm saying. People aren't talking to their customers. That's my point, by the way. Maybe I'll give you one of you guys her contact. All right. So let's get back to this. Next, we're going to do consultants. We're going to go down the same way. We're going to go down our list. People on our team, we're going to reach out, make their day. And you'll see one of the scripts in here is just like, hey, girl, how can I make your day today? It's so important, guys. The reason we named this product Teamzy is because it's all about your team. It's about the relationships with your team. Having a Facebook page for your team, doing a live Zoom like this once a week, that's not a relationship. I mean, those are great tools, but people need to hear from you. And the more successful you get, the larger your team, I know it feels like overwhelming. That's when it matters most. That's when it matters most. When somebody gets a message from you, and again, you're going to rank them. Your builders are going to come up more often than just rank, people on your team that are discount. But just remember, discount people and hobby people become builders with the right relational energy that's invested in them. So this will help you cycle through those people. So this is your power hour. You're going to connect with prospects, connect with customers, connect with consultants. You're not focused on recruiting. You're not focused on selling. You're focused on what? Making someone's day. Making someone's day. And creating conversation. So if you reach out, like we've got how many? About 20 on this? 17, 18. Our goal is 19 people. Our goal is 19 people a day. So you should expect about 10 people respond. So now you've got 10 conversations going on Messenger, right? And out of those 10 conversations, your goal is to what? What was our goal in those conversations? Help them. It's to find a way to help them. And hopefully we'll be able to help them with our products and services. But maybe they just need maybe they need a laugh. Maybe they need a prayer. Maybe their kids need a new dentist and you know a great one. Look for ways to help them. That's the most important thing. And out of those 10 conversations, you'll effortlessly create 3 invites to the business or 3 invites to a consultation, whatever you want to invite them to. Does that make sense? All right. And that's how we get to our follow-ups, is when we create those conversations now lead to somebody being interested. So let me show you how that works. Who did I message? Nicole, right? All right, so let's say I'm talking to Nicole. She's like, oh my gosh, great to hear from you. And we're having a great conversation. And she's like, what are you doing? And we start talking. Oh my gosh, I've heard about that. I've heard about that, right? Like the lady at the school. I've heard about that. Oh, let's give you some more information. This stuff's amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up Nicole. And let's say I'm talking to her and she's really interested in the products. We're going to do a consultation. Okay, so I'm looking her up. That brings me up to her record. If I look at activity feed, I can see our conversation earlier, right? To see where we left off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now, as we're talking, I'll say, you know what, let's do a consultation. I'm going to set it up. So I'm going to send you an invite to this consultation, like a link or whatever, right? However you guys want to do it. If I'm in person, maybe we'll go somewhere, but most likely I'll probably talk to her via Zoom or something. So I'll just say, whatever note you want to put in here. Okay, so select type. This is, let's say it's via email, whatever. Okay, this is an invite. Check it out. See the invite? Bam. I'm clicking it this time. This is different than a regular connect. Now I'm just going from making her day to, okay, now we're going to talk about the business. Now I'm going to put her on my follow-ups list. So you can see there's a few different invite types. There's solution tool, 3-way call, consultation, an event, a BBL, an opportunity call, or other, if you can't fit in the box, right? But those are the ones that we got the most requests from you guys, because you guys are awesome. So let's just say it's a consultation invite, right? I'm going to pick that one. But now before I log this in the records, because I want to log my invites, right? Because they're on my dashboard. I need the points. I need to see that I'm getting my 100%. I need to set a follow-up. So let's set the follow-up so I don't mess this up. So let's say we're going to do the consultation tomorrow and whatever. I'm going to follow up the next day. So I'm going to do my follow-up. So now once I log this, notice now the follow-up is set. I don't have to think about it anymore. You can see that there's the invites logged too. When I'm on my dashboard tomorrow or whenever, I'm doing my prospects, my customers, my consultants. Now I'm going to work my follow-ups list. And there on my follow-ups list is Nicole. She's right there. Okay? So she can't fall through the cracks. I'm not going to forget about her. Now, this is really important because now that she's shown interest in what we're doing, I have a responsibility to follow up with her like a pro. Now, I want to talk to you guys real quick about this. How am I doing on time? Okay, I'm almost done anyways. Follow-up is the fortunes in the follow-up. How many of you guys have heard that? Yeah, you know it. How many of you love following up lots of times? Did you guys know that 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and the 10th follow-up? Have you guys heard that? All right, okay, so you guys love following up. How many of you follow up 10 times, usually? Couple people? I mean, look, there's always a couple people and that's it. Why not? Why don't we follow up 10 times? There's a couple of reasons, right? I'm not gonna make you guys explain yourselves. Don't worry, right? I was the same way. One is sometimes we just don't have a good system to follow up 10 times. You know, we lose them after a minute. Or they haven't responded to us after 3 reach outs and you're like, maybe they're just not interested, right? How many of you guys do that? You feel like you're bugging them if you keep going. Here's the thing I want you guys to know. If you're following up with people who haven't shown interest, you are being a pest. You are being annoying. That is true. But if you're talking to somebody relationally and you're investing in that relationship and they're interested in learning more, now your follow-up is not annoying. It's actually an act of love. That's the principle I want you guys to get. Following up is an act of love. Because they've come to you for help. You have the solution. Right? And they need you to follow up so they can get the solution. Because, guys, I just want you to know this. People resist change. Whoa, really? People resist change? Have you noticed that? People resist change. The reason why people buy between the 7th and the 10th follow-up is because they avoid making the decision to change for 6 or 7 follow-ups. Almost everybody does that. Almost everybody does that. So if you're following up with somebody 6 times and they haven't responded to you, it doesn't mean they're not interested. It means they're normal. Now, failing to follow up is the opposite of love. Failing to follow up communicates, I do not care enough about you to follow up with you about this. Right? And I'm telling you guys this kind of harshly because sometimes we need that to shake ourselves out of our own, like the things we've told ourselves are true. Does that make sense? Now, here's a couple things. I'll give you a couple tips on following up. Following up without being a nag. Now, one of the things that's really cool for you guys for Rodana Fields, because you didn't come in early when this was like brand new, we've refined it so much, is that the scripts are already in there. I've already put 10 follow-up scripts for you in there that you can use. 10 scripts. You can follow up 10 times and not even think. You can just copy and paste our follow-up scripts. And they already follow this philosophy. When you are following up with somebody, never ask them to do anything. Never ask them to call you back. Never ask them to make their purchase. Never ask them to do anything in your follow-up, and you'll never be annoying. But when you follow up every day that way, and you're just there, you're just present, you're just giving them a nice message, you're just connecting with them, letting them know that you care, letting them know that you're there with their questions, letting you know, they're like, oh my gosh, when they finally do come back, I'm like the 6th one, they're like, you are amazing. Thank you so much for following with me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My life has been crazy, right? And they unpack all the excuses they've been telling themselves every day when they get that little message from you and they don't respond or they don't take action. They unpack them all like on the 7th day. This is typical. Expect this. And the cool thing is you're just going through your Teamzy follow-up list, bam, 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 just sending a quick message. You're not investing more than 1.2 seconds on them. But they're looking at you as the most consistent, amazing relationship person in the planet. Does that make sense? All right, so let me show you how to do this really quick. How many of you guys are excited to follow up tomorrow? Anyone? All right, so when I get on my list and I go to Nicole, I'm gonna go do my follow-up, right? I'm gonna go to my scripts. I'm still gonna message her on Facebook because that's how we talk. See, look, follow-up 1, here it is, bam. First follow-up. Hi, Nicole, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? I'm going to copy that one. Bam. This is my favorite script, by the way, of all scripts on the planet. I love this script. It works so amazingly well. 2 sentences, right? Checking in is like non-threatening. Like I promised I would. I'm following through on my word. Oh my gosh, you can trust me. And I'm promising we're friends. It's not just like I'm looking for a dumb commission. I'm promising to help you. What questions do you have for me? It's all about you. How can I help you? All of that is in 2 sentences. I'm not asking her for anything. So look, I'm going to send her that message in Facebook, boom, and then I set the next follow-up. Always set the next follow-up. I'm going to set it for tomorrow, right? And then when I log it, it'll be on my list again tomorrow. I'll come back to her. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go to scripts. I'm gonna go grab follow-up number 2. Hi, Jane, just make sure you got my email. Check in to see if you have any questions. Of course, the email is the email with the link that she needs to purchase, right? I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna send it. Guys, I'm gonna do this day after day after day. Maybe on the 4th or 5th follow-up, I might go to 2 days out, but I'm gonna set my follow-up each day. I'm gonna set my follow-up each day. I'm gonna set my follow-up each day. And what I explained to you will happen. She's gonna be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for staying on top of me. I really appreciate it. I really need this. And I'm so grateful that you're such a professional. Right? Because what happens with consistency, people respect it and desire it for themselves, remember? Okay, so now let me finish her off in the system. So now Nicole, like on follow-up number 9, finally goes in and does it. She orders her regimen and she's like, I did it, I got it. And got an email, great. So I go into the back office and I look, I'm like, oh, awesome. She came in, she was smart, she signed up as a consultant, right? She got her product. So what I'm gonna do is, so I'm on my dashboard, right? I open up Teamzy. Maybe it's even on my phone. I open it up. I'm just gonna search her, bring up her record. Okay? So I'm gonna bring up her record. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna log the sale. So let's say it was an enrollment kit, and I'm just gonna save it. Now, I'm not concerned about volume. I'm not concerned about commission here. I just wanna log the sale so that my stats show that she converted. Does that make sense? And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move her right here from member type. I'm gonna move her to consultant, okay, and personally sponsored. And there's a new row that's coming in here in a couple weeks that's gonna actually let me determine if she's a discount, hobby, or business builder, which is kind of cool, right? So that'll give me one more row where I can really categorize her. So now when I connect with Nicole, she's on my consultants list, okay? She's gonna be on my consultants list instead of on my prospects list. So now she's finished off in the system, and that's how you do it. Every day you come in here, you start connecting with people on the list. You connect, make people's day, create conversations. From those conversations, you create opportunities. Then you invite them in some way to the business. Then you follow up like a pro on those invites. Now, what happens when they don't convert? They say, you know what, I'm just not ready for this right now. Candi, I don't think I want to do this right now. Maybe next month. Great, no problem. Guess what, Candi? You are on my Teamzy list. You can never escape my relationship. You will never fall through my cracks. You're coming back in 60 days anyways. I'm going to be ready when you're ready. I will be here connecting with you. And then how many times has that happened where you followed up like crazy with someone and they're like, I'm not really ready. And then 6 months later, they're like, bam, and they're a star on your team. Happens all the time, but you just need to be present with them so that when they're ready, you're ready to be there with them. Does that make sense? Okay. One more thing before I open up for some questions. I want to give you guys some action steps really quick. All right, so here's your action steps. First, get your free trial started. Go get your free trial started. It's free. If you haven't already done that, go do that. That's a no-brainer. Teamzy.com. Next, if you don't already have a success partner in your business, get a 30-day success partner to do the trial with you. Okay? A 30-day success partner to do the trial with you. You're going to hold each other accountable throughout the 30 days. Now, here's how you do it. Here's the easiest way to do it. When you are finished with your activities for the day, you get this 100% you crushed it message. How many of you guys just like live for that on Teamzy? I know some of you guys are using this. When you get that message, I want you to screen grab it so that they can see how many people you connected with and everything, and message that to your success partner. And they're gonna get that at like 9:30 at night and be like, dang it, now I gotta go do mine. And it's so awesome because it'll keep you guys on track. So 30-day success partner. The reason I say a 30-day success partner, if you don't already have a success partner, is it's kind of like you want to date them before you commit to your business with them the whole time. So just do one for 30 days. If you like them, you can keep them as your success partner. Okay, next. Accept our 5-day challenge. Sometimes you need a shorter challenge before you can do the longer challenge. So here's the challenge I want you guys to do. And you guys can do this as a team, or you can do it, you definitely are going to do it with your success partner. In 5 consecutive days, I want you to connect with 100 people. So that's 20 people each day. And it can be a mix of prospects, customers, and consultants. 20 people each day for 5 consecutive days. I've already showed you could do that in under 30 minutes. But I want you to do it 5 days in a row because I want you to see how the compounding effect of doing this daily impacts your business. You guys, if you do this, if you accept this challenge, you're going to see amazing things happen in your business. It's going to be, and you'll be addicted to this, but that's okay. That's a win-win for both of us. So those are your action steps. Now, we have a few more minutes. I know I've been on the line. Some of you guys are in the East Coast. You're ready for bed. But do you have questions for me? And if you do, just unmute yourself and I'll be happy to answer them.
Quick question for you. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I'm just looking for your
Okay,
face. Let me put you on speaker view so I see you.
So I have like 4,500 Facebook friends, A-list problems. Sometimes I don't know if they're already in RNF. So when my message goes from Teamzy to Facebook, is it going to pop up on their page so I can see who they are? Or do I have to take the time to actually like go through my entire list once it's uploaded and really kind of sort people out?
You know what? I'm really glad you asked that question because there was another question embedded in there that you didn't know you asked. And that was this. Teamzy won't send messages for you. You have to actually go to Facebook to send the message. And so I had it open in 2 tabs and I was toggling back and forth. Facebook changed their API rules 2 years ago. No apps integrate with them anymore. Every app used to, but when they started selling ads, they didn't want anyone competing with them. So you have to actually do it in Facebook. So in that example, that's a great question. Rather than going through your whole list, what I would do is I would just look them up on Facebook and you can usually tell instantly if they're RF, right?
Okay, so as soon as they come up in my column as they're the people I'm supposed to go to today, I'm just going to copy and paste my message from Teamzy, go to their Facebook page and be like, oh, she's RNF. And then I go back to my Teamzy and I put them as a 1-star so they won't come back up again.
Or you can delete them off your list.
Okay.
Or if there's somebody that you want to have a relationship with, like a sideline sister or something, right? You can move them to consultants and just tag them as that. So those are your options. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and so let me show you how easy it is to, let me show you how easy it is to delete somebody if you wanted to do that. Like if I wanted to delete Deanne, I came back and I'm like, oh, I don't want her on my list. I can change her rank or just delete her off my list. She's gone. She's out of Teamzy now. Now, one thing that's really cool too, just so you guys know, is when you delete somebody that's been imported like from your Facebook list, Teamzy will never re-import somebody that you've already imported from Facebook, even if you delete them. So if you were to later, Jessica, go import your whole Facebook list again next year and you've already cleaned out all those RF people, they won't come back. They won't come back in. Teamzy will look at your deletes and be like, oh, she's already imported this person and deleted them, so we won't bring them back in. So in the weird situation where you want to bring somebody back, you have to manually put them in through the top. Make sense?
Okay, that leads me to another question then.
Sure.
So that's awesome that it won't bring somebody in. So maybe like once a month, I should just redo my Facebook, because if I'm adding like 100 people a month.
If you're adding 100 people a month, you may want to do a bulk import like that. Yeah. Now, I will always.
And it will only bring in those 100 people.
Yeah, correct. I definitely encourage you guys to every day add people manually to the list. Also, you get rewarded because Teamzy's tracking that because it's part of the daily activities. So if you're doing 100 people a month, that's really only 3 or 4 people a day. Right? So if you're in here every day, you add those people in as you go, which is cool because then as you're adding them in as you go, you're also able to log that first connect with them. Right? That first connect. When you bulk import them, they're just going to all drop into your list somewhere. So it's not as, you don't have as much control as when you're, oh, I met this person, I'm going to add them to my Teamzy on the fly. I'm going to send them this message, hey, it's great to be connected on Facebook. And now that's logged and they're in my system. Does that make sense? But then if you have a crazy month and you haven't been doing that and you've got 100 new people, then you do bulk import and get them all on your list. Okay.
Can I add something too, Eric?
Sure.
You said about the tagging. I think it's really important too because, like, for example, I have Jessica, who's my sideline sister, power partner, in my consultants tagged as that. So I have tagged, and then like my directs, I have tagged how I know these, how, you know, where these consultants come from.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
The tags are awesome because, well, there's 2 things. There's actually a subcategory where you can put sideline partner, but the tagging is awesome because you can create all kinds of subgroups in your Teamzy with the tags. You can also tag people on the products that they're using. So, you know, like you can go in, and if you wanted to look at everybody using a certain product because there's a new release coming out that builds on that, and you could go pull a list quickly by tag and message everybody on that group. So there's so many different things you can do with the tags. One thing that I always recommend too with tags is like when you bring in your Facebook list, tag them as Facebook friends. If you bring in a list of people from Instagram, tag them as Instagram. That way you always know what the best way to message them is too. Right? So yeah, there's so much that I didn't go over with you guys tonight. So as you get into your free trial, you need to go to the university, and there's videos, and we're going to constantly be doing more training with you guys. I just really wanted you guys to get the kind of the meat and potatoes of how to work the relationships, if that makes sense. Any other questions? You guys are so focused. There's no chat conversation going on. Usually I'm like, oh, there's 700 chats I have to read. Okay, so how many of you are accepting the 5-day challenge? Speed of the leader, speed of the team. All right, well, we see the leaders raising their hands. That's awesome. Go do it, you guys. Your arms and legs will not fall off by making people's day. And here's the thing I want you to know. It's going to be so much fun. For those of you guys who dreaded connecting with people because you were just like, hey, do you want to learn more about, whatever scripts you're using? Now it's just like, hey, how are you? You know what I mean? And so, and some people may be skeptical at first, which is fine. My favorite one was, I got one that said, Eric, I'm really sorry. I know we were Facebook friends at one point, but when you no longer were talking about real estate, I didn't find your posts relevant, so I unfriended you. That was the response I got. I said, oh, that was awesome. I said, well, great. Thanks. I appreciate your honesty. Right now I'm focused on, and I was a Beachbody coach at the time, I'm focused on helping people with their health. If you know anybody who could be healthier, will you send them my way? And then he goes, oh, absolutely. I'll tell everybody about your business. Like, turn it around. Just have fun with it, guys. Just have fun with it. But
I have a type A question.
Yeah.
I have a type A question. Okay, so like I'm obsessed apparently right now, and I want to sign up for my 30-day trial tonight. So does that count in the 5 days? Does that mean I gotta get like 100 people tonight? Or should I wait until tomorrow morning so I have my whole day to get my 100 people?
I want you to do 5 days within your 30-day free trial.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're fine. You're going to do that, no problem.
Yeah, no problem.
You're going to do that, no problem. But here's the thing I will tell you guys. Okay, I'm going to just tell you a story about when Teamzy, we started building Teamzy, and it took about a year to build, like the rough draft. And I was the only one who had it, and it wasn't beautiful and pretty, but it worked. Like they got my Facebook friends imported, and I had a list, and I could go through the list, and I was able to sort them, rank them, and get a list. So this was my first day in my shoffice. And if you guys go back on our YouTube, you'll see like the shoffice with no insulation. It was just like bare boards in the beginning, and it slowly got nicer. But I was in here connecting with people. And by the way, I'm not a builder anymore in network marketing. I'm just here working with you guys. But I got in here and I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm just going to do like 10 people. And I found that I connected with 43 people in like, I think it was about an hour. I connected with 43 people. My phone was nuts for like weeks. I was like talking to people like crazy for weeks. And I signed 26 new people to my business that month. That was my best, because at that point I was like, oh, I need to do less. I need to be less good at this. But, also, I'm not saying that your results will be like that. I'm saying, though, that you should get good results. I also am somebody who have always been working those relationships. So I had a close relationship or a good, warm relationship with a lot of people, so that because a database of people becomes more responsive over time. Does that make sense? So if you guys are just starting to connect with people like this, it'll take a little time to get people responsive. But over time, they become more pliable. We talk about like, when you take Play-Doh out of a Play-Doh container for your kids, and it's like this perfect little cylinder, and then they smush it up and they play with it and put it back. And now it's softer, right? And when you open it up later, assuming they sealed it, it's still soft. That's the way people are. That's the way relationships are. When you've built a relationship a little bit, it's just always a little bit quicker to get it going. All right, this is recorded if you guys want to go back and watch this long video, and I will get Candi the recording of it. I'll probably post it up on our YouTube page too, so that it'll be there, and then I'll send it to Candi tonight once it renders. But I know I talked a lot. If you guys, just basically this, thank you guys for having me. It's been fun for me. You can tell even when I'm sick, I get into this. I'm excited about what this is doing for people's businesses. We built this to help you guys reach more people. I truly believe you guys are impacting people's lives in an awesome way, giving people amazing opportunities. I mean, for me, I told you my process of realizing, oh my gosh, what an opportunity. I'm now out, I can get out of my slump and create the life I always wanted with this opportunity. That's what you guys are doing for people too. And I hope that this tool helps you get to more of those people. Does that make sense? So thank you guys so much for having me tonight. I hope you have fun with it.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.